Hi, my name is Walter Pereira, and I'll be your counselor for today. Before we start anything, I'm sorry, I missed your name.
It's Henry Aspen.
Henry, hey, can I call you something else?
You can call me Henry, that's fine.
All right, that's good. Before we start anything, Henry, I'd like to talk to you about consent, and just those four little limits of consent that I have to review over with you, and that'll be if you tell me if I know about you harming yourself, you harming others, if I know about any child abuse that you talk to me about, or if I have any court order that I need to send some paperwork to the court. But again, it depends on the case. It won't be your whole file. It'll be whatever documentation the court needs.
Okay, that sounds good.
And if you can agree with that, can you please just print your name and sign it right there?
No problem.
Thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. Well, what brings you in today?
Well, honestly, I've been smoking a lot of cigarettes lately, and I want to cut back, maybe even stop. I've been smoking for a while now, almost 4 years. I mean, I started when I was, 18, 17. I'm 20 now. So I guess that'd be 3 years.
And are you concerned about your health, or?
Yeah, my major concern would be my health. Plus, they're expensive, you know. I wake up in the morning, I cough up black mucus. It's horrible. I mean, and it's the pain that, by the end of the day, I'm just out of breath. Walking up the stairs. I'm too young to be feeling like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I figure if I can stop smoking, that'll help me out.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you want to stop smoking because it's affecting your health in a fast rate. I mean, you're only 20 years old and you're already huffing and puffing when you're walking down the stairs.
Yeah.
And it seems to be expensive for you as well.
Yeah, it takes a toll on my wallet. I spend $20, $30 a week sometimes. Depends on how much I'm smoking, but yeah, it's real expensive.
All right, I see where you're coming from. I've dealt with other clients with substance abuse as well. I've gone through it with them, and I think we could work something out with you.
Okay.
But before we go into the main problem and all that, I just would like to ask you, how's your background, your family background?
It's not too bad. Grew up with my mom and dad. Got a brother now. He's 15 years old. That's it's alright. None of them smoke though, so they're always on me about it. Not smoking.
So now you have your family against you for smoking.
Yeah. It's kind of tough sometimes.
Has smoking affected what about your occupational background? Has the smoking affected your working status?
Well, right now I'm a cook at a restaurant, Friendly's, and honestly, it sounds weird, but it actually kind of benefits me that I'm a smoker while I work, because I get to take a smoke break. Sometimes I'll go out back and smoke with one of my managers, so I get to go outside and have some one-on-one time with them. So sometimes it actually seems like it helps me out, but I know in the long run, health-wise, and it's not helping me at all.
So you see smoking as a form, a way to communicate with your supervisors, with your manager. So you find it as a how can I put this? As a form to make friends.
Yeah, it can be. It can be a sociable thing sometimes.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's effect on your health and all that.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to catch up with me one of these days.
All right. What about your education? Can you tell me about your education?
Yeah, I've been in the Appomattox School District most of my life, kindergarten through 12th grade. I used to get really good grades in elementary and middle school, but then in high school I started to fall off a little bit. You know, skipping class, sleeping in class, not doing my homework. So yeah, that wasn't too good. But I'm going to college now, so I'm going to Del Tech in Dover, so it's not as bad as it could be.
Well, I'm just a friendly recall. He told me about you started smoking when you were 17. So basically, you started smoking senior year.
Senior year, yeah.
Just a question: when did you start, falling asleep in school, cutting school?
About the year before, junior year.
Do you think that maybe affected you into smoking?
It could have. It might have been like an attitude I started to develop, or I just didn't care. You know, do whatever I want. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So you just wanted to be cool or something like that?
Yeah, it started off as a social thing. You know, my buddy would smoke and he'd offer me cigarettes, so I'd say, all right, why not? Started smoking them, and you know, anytime I see somebody else smoking, I feel like I got to pull one out and smoke with them. So socially, yeah, it's social influences are huge.
So tell me a little bit more about your living environment. You told me you live with your mother and father and they don't smoke, and you live with your little brother, he doesn't smoke.
Right.
So is there any other family members that smoke, or you live with anybody else?
Well, those are the only people I live with, but
Okay.
My Uncle Bill will visit every now and then, and he does smoke. Well, he's on and off with it.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, let me get a cig. So I'll give him one, we'll go outside, and then I'll usually smoke like 2 in a row. That grosses me out. And kind of throws up a red flag, too. Like, you know, why is he doing that? Am I going to get to the point where I need to start doing that? No, it worries me.
Excuse me, but does your uncle smoke two in a row, or are you starting to smoke two in a row?
No, he'll smoke 2 in a row.
He'll smoke 2 in a row. And you don't want to get up to that point.
Yeah, I don't want to see myself doing that. You know? I don't know why he has to, but I figure if he started doing it, it could happen to me too.
Yeah, of course. Any other thoughts? Maybe anybody else? Maybe aunt, another uncle, friends? Yeah, friends that smoke?
Yeah, family-wise, just Uncle Bill, but friends-wise, a majority of them. Or I'd say at least half of them, they smoke.
So do you think you smoke because your friends smoke as well? That's why you haven't stopped?
It definitely has been a contributing factor to me continuing to smoke, yeah. And at the same time, I guess it's kind of kept me from stopping, because, hey, they're doing it. Why can't I?
Yeah. Do you see any of your friends going towards a bad rabbit hole with smoking?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so, not just with the smoking, but making bad choices. But again, with the smoking, they're starting to smoke a lot more, like maybe a pack or 2 a day.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's disgusting, but I say that, and at the same time, I'm smoking too, which is gross. So
Basically the same thing.
yeah, so I feel a little hypocritical when I think that way, and it makes me realize I need to stop smoking altogether.
All right. What about? Let's talk about your spirituality. Do you believe? What's your beliefs?
I'm Roman Catholic, and used to go to church with my family, but then they stopped going to church around, when I was in 5th, 6th grade, so of course I wasn't going anymore. But I did get confirmed. I believe in God. Yeah, but it's not a huge part of my life, but it does have some effect on my morals and my choices, as far as,
Can you describe what kind of effects?
I don't steal, I don't cheat on girlfriends, I try to follow the 10 Commandments at least. I'm not the perfect Christian, don't claim to be, but I try to avoid the really big sins, I've always been taught that you just don't do it.
And how did you feel when you stopped going to church with your family? Did that you think that affected you in any negative way?
It could have, yeah. Now that you bring it up, I mean, it took took some of the importance off of church. But at the same time, I still knew it was. I knew the difference between right and wrong at that point. But yeah, when we stopped going, it did. It made me wonder why, you know. But I don't know.
Can I ask you how it made you feel? Why did you ask the question why? Why you stopped going to church? Why did you ask that question?
Well, I was curious. Was it something the church had did, or my parents? You know, I mean, I still believe that my parents believed, but was there something that they had noticed about it that they started not to like? But I never really asked them about it, you know.
So not going to church, the switch from you going to church with your family to all of a sudden not going, has really impacted you?
Yeah, I would say it has. I don't view religion as that important anymore, just because I've lived my life for all these years without going to church or, you know, volunteering in any sort of religious stuff. But I still think it's important. Just it's not as important to me as it used to be.
All right. Other than smoking cigarettes, as you stated, do you use any other substance?
Yeah, I drink occasionally. I'd say probably once a month. But you know, when I do, I drink a lot to get pretty drunk. But then,
I'm sorry, you can continue.
yeah, I don't drink a lot, get hammered, but then next day I'm not feeling that high.
How does that make you feel, knowing that you're gonna drink to get drunk?
Well, it's usually my goal, and it's usually a social thing. It's planned usually a couple of days in advance, but it's more for fun, just a little fun thing to do when I know I don't have anything important to do the next day.
All right. Is there any other substances you use?
Yeah, I got a couple buddies that offer me to smoke weed with them every once in a while.
All right. And how has that affected you?
Well, it makes me lazy, I can tell you that. When I'm high, I don't really feel like getting anything done. As far as schoolwork, going to my actual job, I'll still do it, but I just don't feel like it.
Well, smoking weed is, as I can see in your expressions, you enjoy it,
Yeah.
but at the same time it has negative outcomes to it.
Something I really gotta watch, because start doing that too much and then don't get anything done for the whole week, day,
Yeah.
however long it lasts.
Yeah. What about in medical history? Like, can you talk about any, have you ever been to the hospital for something major, like stomach virus or chicken pox?
Yeah, I had the chicken pox early on when I was a kid. My mom probably set me up and made sure I was with other kids with chicken pox just so I get it out of the way.
Alright.
I always see crap like that on TV. But yeah, the only other times I've been to the hospital is I broke my thumb twice.
Okay.
Playing sports and stuff like that, but nothing too serious.
What kind of sports do you play?
Soccer. Soccer's my main
Soccer.
one. I've done cross country. That was exciting. Track. A lot of running sports. Not very good with contact sports. Usually
Okay.
get pushed around pretty easy.
Do you still play these sports on a regular basis?
Soccer. I'll play with friends in the backyard, but I'm not part of the league anymore. It's more part of a referee soccer nowadays. That's what I have to do.
And from my understanding, I know referees have to run around the field as well, following players to make the calls right, correct?
Yes.
So how has smoking cigarettes affected you being a referee?
Good question. And the answer would be not in any way good. Refereeing is pretty much the only physical activity I get nowadays. And I started doing it the past couple of weekends again because it's the soccer season, and I'll tell you what, those 12-year-olds weren't as hard to keep up with.